Alright everyone, how's it going? This is just a quick video to let you know the current situation, obviously in the UK's change in regards to the coronavirus and how it should be dealt with. Personally, from our house, my family's point of view, my daughter has been like spiking temperatures, quite high temperatures from Friday day into Friday night. They've been coming and going over the course of the last few days. It's quite worrying. Not only is the temperatures high, but when our temperatures are going high, our body's popping a little bit and she's making strange noises. So it's really quite worrying on that front. But as of yesterday, around about 6:30, 7 o'clock yesterday evening, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, kind of advised. Well, I wouldn't say advised. I would pretty much take it as he's telling people, and quite rightly so, that if anyone in your house has any symptom whatsoever, bearing in mind now that the UK isn't testing anyone, so what you're seeing is a serious lack of numbers going up in terms of how many confirmed cases there is. But that's not to say that the confirmed cases, the real ones, are kind of off the charts. But we're just not testing for anything. So the advice is for anybody who in any household, who's shown any form of symptoms, whether it's a dry cough, high temperature, runny nose, any of these sorts of things that would be related to like flu-like symptoms, kind of like treat it as if you've got the coronavirus and self-isolate, and that goes for everyone in the house now. And this is for a 2-week period. So for me personally, absolutely no problem at all. I don't get paid very well for being off my work, so there's obviously the financial strain on everyone right now in the country who falls into this category. Normal people like ourselves, who maybe don't have the reserves and the savings to, to be very, very fortunate. But in terms of the advice given, it was a no-brainer. I'm not going to risk other people. Yes, I'm showing no symptoms, but I actually know people in the local area that showed no symptoms but got tested a couple of weeks ago and had it. So it just goes to show that you don't necessarily need symptoms to have the virus and ultimately be able to spread the virus through no fault of your own. So definitely, if you're fall into this category now and you're in the UK, and I'm quite sure other countries are a little bit behind where we are right now in terms of how to deal with it. I'm sure these protocols will come in there too. Obviously, with the likes of Ireland, I'm Northern Ireland, but the likes of Ireland, this is St Patrick's Day today, and you know it's bad when the Irish are shutting pubs on St Patrick's Day. You know something bad is happening. So it's definitely something to be taken really, really seriously. I know people say it's only the flu, blah, 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 but it's not about it only being the flu on you as an individual. It's about how contagious this thing is and how likely you are to spread it to someone else who pretty much can't handle getting the flu. It would be enough to kill them. Let's face it, it's going to be enough to wipe certain people out, depending on their health that they've already got, or if they're elderly. And I for one, no matter even if I get paid or not, and we're financially struggling, I am not going to go to my work or walking around the shops and risk other people who fall into that category of being more vulnerable. Absolutely not. The one thing I will say in terms of the UK, and I noticed that it was something that an idea that has been kind of thrown out there, and I know it's happening in main parts of Europe now that are in complete lockdown, such as Spain, Italy, I think France possibly, I think I read maybe being locked down, all the schools closing. Now, the only worry I have financially in that front is if the schools close for 4 months, obviously there's no childcare available because nobody's going to do that job. So what you're going to be doing is staying at home, looking after your own children with no money coming in. Now, I would like to see the government for the UK, in terms of the UK, looking into that and seeing how they can help the sort of less privileged people, if you like, people that are in a situation where they rely on a weekly wage for survival as well. It's okay, a 2-week period self-isolating, but if this does go on for a lot longer a period, where does that leave people for their bills, such as their mortgage, their rent, gas, electric? It's going to put people under some serious financial strain at the lower level. And us living in Northern Ireland, it's quite interesting because Northern Ireland was one of the places one of the places that had said that they were looking at possibly doing school closures for up to 4 months, but there's no protocol there for if that does happen, where's the financial help that parents are going to need when their kids are off school for possibly 4 months looking after them. So that's a worry. Bearing in mind Northern Ireland was a country where MLAs refused to work and still got nearly full pay. Some of them were coming away with £65,000 a year and refusing to do their day job. These are the same people that are now going to be making decisions based on whether or not somebody who went to their work every day for less, not great wages in the first place, have got no safety net of full pay if this happens. So it's something that needs to be addressed and addressed quick. I appreciate that this is quite difficult times for the government and every single individual on the planet right now, but certainly in terms of if they're going to shut the schools and things like that, and you've got dependents such as children, and on that front, that's where my worry would be, the financial impact that would have. But for right now, in the short term, obviously with the self-isolation period of 2 weeks that we'll be undergoing in my house, my wife and my 3 children will not leave the house, and we can't go to the shops or anything like that, which I fully appreciate and respect, and we will adhere to the rules because we do not want to spread it. But the short-term hit that would mean financially is okay, but if it does drag on to 4 months, it's going to be one of those things where you're like, what impact is that going to have on the normal working class family and people? Obviously, we're looking at in terms of the virus itself. Obviously, we're very, very concerned as a planet about the impact it's going to have on people with underlying health issues, vulnerable people, elderly. First and foremost, that is the main concern. But then the second concern has to be the financial impact that it's going to have on the working class people. Bearing in mind, a lot of these big companies have already said, like billionaire companies have said, that they need bailouts. Well, look, bail your own companies out. That's my view on that. You've had Richard Branson saying Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Airlines may suffer and they may need a bailout of something like £7.5 billion. Well, this is a guy that doesn't live in the UK, lives in an island in the Caribbean somewhere, probably has tax breaks from the UK government, but expecting a bailout from the UK government. My advice to him would be fucking piss off, bail out your own company. It's your responsibility. Everybody is in a really difficult situation right now. I don't know what makes him so special. Why should he still remain wealthy even though his employees will be financially struggling? But I expect the UK taxpayer to front it up. Bearing in mind, every individual UK taxpayer is currently got the same sort of concerns and worries as what I've just expressed. I'm no different from nearly 99.9% of the normal people across the world right now, and my worries and fears about this isn't maybe you're not worried about the virus, but maybe you are worried about the financial impacts that it's going to have on you as a normal working class person, and rightly so. I mean, this doesn't seem to be something that's going to go away anytime soon. Obviously, the recreational relief that you get from supporting a sports team is now gone. Where you like going to pubs and clubs, that's potentially gone. If you like doing anything that involves going outdoors and socialising in groups of people is now gone. So that element of that, at the weekend you go out and socialise with your friends, let your hair down, you've had maybe quite a tough week at work, you can't really do that anymore. So not only are we seeing a financial impact and obviously the virus's impact as how it could harm people in more vulnerable positions directly, but also the kind of social impact it might have, the mental health impact it could possibly have on people. Some people are used to being very, very social and going out all the time, even every night of the week, and now if that's taken away from them, that dramatic change could be absolutely brutal for them. So it's certainly something that the bigger picture needs to be looked at, and we need kind of a lot more advice on going forward. But obviously, my initial worries would be I don't want to spread it to anybody close to me who this could affect as a virus, and then secondly being financially, if the schools are shut for 4 months, if we're in lockdown, bills, how are we going to pay these, what's going to happen, we need to have more advice on these things, and I think the government are doing the best job that they possibly can. I'm not going to slight the British government for their actions on anything. Maybe they were naive to think sort of herd immunity. I think Australia's kind of looking at a similar thing of herd immunity. That means like trying to get people kind of contracting the virus, as many people as possible, to and ultimately build up an immunity in the long run. But that's proven to possibly be the wrong way to tackle the virus, which could actually lead to more fatalities, which is now making them look at it more closely now and take more drastic measures, such as what's happened in China initially and now mainland Europe, with the likes of Italy. I think Spain are doing something similar. So certainly worrying times for everyone for loads of different reasons, but all I'll say is stick to the guidelines, stick to the rules, do all the things that they're saying. Don't panic. Look, I can't go to the shops for 2 weeks. I didn't panic buy. We've not got stock up of food, but what we have got is a support of our family that will go and get us shopping. If you're in a situation where you don't have anybody else, you're in lockdown, then I'm sure that there's call lines that you could call on how that could happen. If you know anybody that can't go out of their house, they haven't got anybody, help them. Knock their door, ask them, do they need anything from the shop? Just pull together as a community. Don't be thinking of yourself. Like we seen initially with the outbreak kind of happening in Europe into the Western world, initial panic, everybody buying everything off the shelves. Like, this behaviour needs to stop now. It's time to start saying, right, I've got everything I need. What about the others that never got it? What about people in self-isolation who actually cannot leave their house now to even go to the shop to get bread or milk? For me, I'm in that situation right now, but I know that we've got people that will do that for us. Drop us milk and bread, etc. at the doorstep. But there's people out there, so do pull together as a community and do try and help each other. If somebody needs a little bit of messages from the shop, offer. Knock people's door. Be a good citizen. Be a good neighbour, if you like. But certainly, in terms of the initial reaction to what the new rules mean for us, we'll abide by them, and first and foremost we'll abide by it, and we'll just have to look at ways to entertain 3 children behind closed doors. The old games are probably the best, Monopoly, board games, etc. We've got an Xbox here, so I'm sure we'll play the Xbox with the kids as well, which will be probably quite hard to do for 2 weeks without fights breaking out. Netflix, overindulge in things like Netflix, get caught up in TV shows that you wouldn't really get to watch all the time. Just anything to take your mind off actually what's going on, but still being aware of what's going on enough to stick to the correct things as they happen, because I'm sure a lot of real changes are going to happen every single day. So do stay tuned for that as well, but ultimately try and keep your mind on other things, because constantly thinking about this is not good for the health. Anyway, thanks very much. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update of where we were and where the country is, and probably where the world is right now on this one. But now that I've got 2 weeks off, I'll certainly be looking into doing more reaction videos, whether it comes to the NHL, AFL. Obviously, it's not going to be current footage, but older footage. I'll still be rolling out quizzes when it comes to the AFL. We'll be doing a lot more AFL stuff. I appreciate my tipping could be null and void right now. Supercoach potentially could be null and void, but we'll certainly look into doing AFL quizzes, loads of other stuff. I know the release date of the AFL Evolution 2 game is kind of late April. I have tried to order it to the UK pre-order, but they don't seem to have that option, so I'm going to email the company, the gaming shop that you've got there down under, about how I could go about getting that pre-ordered in order to get that here on the time. Who knows, I could be behind closed doors for several months. We just don't know what's going to happen. But if that is the case, online AFL gaming, and we'll certainly be looking into doing videos of that, and I'll let you know what my tag is so we can all play against each other and have a bit of fun. That's just it. Just try and remain positive. Stick to the rules. Don't be selfish. Don't be greedy. Take what you need and not what you want. Get your supplies of what you need. Don't be a prick in the shops. Look after one another and keep the spirits up. As I said, we'll try our best as a channel to put out positive content over the next wee while and keep the spirits up. Thanks very much, everyone. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.